Trump spent the first week as president signing a flurry of executive orders. It turns out, though, those executive orders, some of them at least, may not be worth the paper they are written on. That's because, as Politico pointed out, Trump neglected to consult with federal agency lawyers or lawmakers, meaning he could be looking at flawed orders that might be unworkable, unenforceable, or even illegal. Some of these orders contain manifest internal contradictions, or like Trump's executive order on the Keystone Pipeline, which was reportedly drafted without guidance from the State Department. It turns out the company that wants to build the pipeline is suing the U.S. for $15 billion. For that reason, that executive order could actually end up bolstering the company's case in court. Because Trump's executive orders seem to have excluded the review process involving federal agencies, congressional committees, and lawyers, have reportedly been written by Stephen Miller, Trump's senior White House advisor of policy, and Steve Bannon, Trump's chief strategist. They appear to be as much communications documents as they are legal orders. Joining me now is Congressman Jamie Raskin, Democrat from Maryland, and Anna Galland, executive director at Move On Civic Action. And Congressman, I'll start with you. There's feeling many people have of this kind of tsunami because there have been all these executive orders. It remains deeply unclear just how many of these will stand up in court and just how much power they have. What is your plan for, as a member of Congress to find that out?
Well, all of them are politically problematic and are vulnerable to different kinds of objections on funding grounds, as is the case with the building of the wall at the Mexican border. But a number of them appear to be unconstitutional. The one I spent a little time with today was the one about sanctuary jurisdictions, which is almost certainly unconstitutional for two reasons. One is it's basically a Godfather offer presented to the states. Either you do what we say or we're going to cut off all federal funding to your state. The first problem with that is that the Supreme Court has been very clear that where there's a quid pro quo like that, it has to be explicit and unambiguous in the original statute. So if a state were to be collecting money from the Department of Education, for example, or the Department of State, it would have to say right there, this money is conditioned on your cooperating with us in terms of being basically a part of the administrative apparatus dealing with immigration. And none of the laws say that. So that's problem one. And problem two is that the law itself basically tries to reduce the states and the localities into administrative cogs in the machinery of the federal government. And the Supreme Court said in the 1997 case dealing with the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act that you can't, the federal government cannot commandeer the resources and the bureaucracies of state and local governments.
Yeah, in fact,